Greetings, traveler. So you've returned to push your luck as you traverse the pits of terror and stain your soul once again. Well, since you're becoming a regular around these parts, let me show you around. Walk the path of despair. Descend the steps of sanity. Cross the narrow border into a realm of nightmares. And just on your left, you'll see a small cafe. It doesn't look like much, but they make the most amazing pastries, and it really is worth the trip. It's Dead Reckoning, Season 2, Episode 1, and tonight we have a special special guest, Bob Harvey, who will be joining us to talk Simpsons Halloween Specials, risque theatre shows, and basically just to have a really nice time. Well, we're back.
Hey!
All right.
Hey!
Season 2, the sequel.
Ooh, spooky. Hey, just before, while we're starting, right? I had no idea. Should we introduce when you post it on your Facebook page and stuff? Should you do the cool Simpsons thing where they do they'll change the names to make them spooky?
But whenever I do that, I change it to Cursed Walker. It doesn't really work with audio. It sounds the same. And then I have to spell it out to get people to understand. So it doesn't. I can't.
I guess I could be Putrid Paul Walker.
Yeah, that's it. You could be Paul Walker AD or something, Paul.
You can call me Dead Cold Man.
Perfect.
Dead Cold Man.
Dead Cold Man. Oh.
Off to a flyer.
Well, it's your idea, Bob. What's your name?
I don't know. The only one I could think of is
Jeremy's Iron.
The easiest one would be Blob, right? The Blob. But it's it would have been hilarious 2 years ago when I was heaps fatter. Yeah. Or just, no, better still, make me Ghost Mutt. Yeah.
All right, well, since... and this is not only showing how the podcast has aged after only one series, but how we have aged as well. This is going to be a nice, quick and concise first episode for everyone, not to ease you back into it, but because one of the presenters needs to get to an eye doctor appointment.
It's not an eye doctor. It's just to have. I've had my current glasses for 5 years, and they don't think that's a good idea. I'm like, they're fine, and they're like, they're probably not. You've probably deteriorated quite a lot, and I'm like, well, I can still see. I'm all right. And they're like, no,
What do you mean expired?
Yeah, I'm over here, Kirsty. Yeah.
This is the butcher's.
I do squint at every single, unfortunately, every single tap room in this country now. They have this big board 17 feet away with everything written in tiny writing. So I always stand up I suppose I'll have a pint of number 3. Just roll the dice because I can't see it. It's too far away. I'm too vain to wear my glasses.
You need to buy some craft beer, opera glasses. Just get them on.
Can you look through your empty glass and it's like a prescription?
I have to drink 2 pints first just to be able to read the rest of it.
What it was.
Just hold them up to my face. Can I take? Is that one dead? I'm going, no, I need both of these. I'm going up to the bar now.
You're actually off to the pub then. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. I couldn't just say I was
glass.
I couldn't just say I was going out drinking. I had to come up with something. I was like, eye test? What do people do? Eye test?
You could say, excuse me, could you make these larger? And they'd say, actually, it's pronounced lager.
Hey!
Oh, I'm gonna get a dad joke in. First one of the season.
Well, on the subject of dad jokes and opticians, there's an animal opticians like down the road from ours, and I've made the same joke every time that we drove past it about the eye chart, just saying the word wolf in like small letters. My girlfriend's like looking over at me like, I've heard that one like a million times.
How the hell do they like get glasses for a dog? He can't tell you what he can see.
Well, they
I
don't.
don't know.
They just guess, right?
I think it's probably just like eye drops or something. Beef flavoured eye drop.
I would get like a juicy bone and keep it really far away. And then as you move it closer, when he starts salivating, that's when he can see. Like, oh, it's a bone. And start drooling. And then you go, right, okay. Measure the pupil width and then we're done.
They'd all cheat to pass it, though, by using their nose, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah.
They'd get their driver's license back.
Sneaky dogs. On Monday, I was in a big show at the local theatre. It's this 400-seater, and it's sold out. And it was supposed to be a pop concert type vibe. But for the first number, which was Let's Go Crazy by Prince, they decided we were all going to walk on wearing big, long black cloaks to Gregorian chants. And there was a big white cross, like glowing cross on the display at the back of the stage. And I was trying to describe this to my black boyfriend, Lewis. And he was like, so it's like...
There is enough evidence in this podcast.
Just to carry on with a theme from last year where I'm subtly racist but I don't know it. I was like, well, we all come on, we've all got these cloaks on, then there's a big burning cross, and he's like, why is it, what's this got to do with Prince? And I'm like, I don't really know, but we're just going to go with it. It's going to be really effective.
Was it Let's Go KK Crazy? Was that what it
Yeah. When you start to look at the lyrics as well, it could technically be interpreted as like, if we just practice a sort of genocide, everything will be better. You can definitely read the lyrics like that if you want to.
How do you practice?
Well, we practiced this at the rehearsal space for the past 2 Sundays. So for the past 2 Sundays, people have been walking past the rehearsal space, looking in and just seeing a load of lunatics in black hoods just walking back and forth really slowly. And then we throw up the cloaks and start doing commercial dance. And it's like, what are they doing in there? So that was just weird. That was the spookiest thing I've done. And I also, because like there was like 30 of us in the number and we all had to have these black cloaks, I was like, listen, I'll stick a Temu order in, right? They'll be £2 each. They'll be really cheap if I do it in bulk. So like for about 3 weeks, cloaks were just showing up at my house. and when you look at my Temu order history, it's just like 10 black cloaks, 5 black cloaks, 6 black cloaks. It's like, what plans do you have? You've been buying long black cloaks for quite some time. It's not really close to Halloween.
You could have a movie written about this and it would be called Shortlegs.
They were all too long, the cloaks as well. They all had to be good. We're all just shuffling on in these cloaks that are way too big for us. I just ordered like large cloaks.
Like when you wear your dad's cloak.
Yeah. How can I borrow your cloak? Like, not again. Get your own cloak. That was fun. And I said to Lewis, was it as weird as it sounded? And he was like, oh yeah, it was. So it was pretty spooky. What else have I done? I watched a film called The Lady in White. Have you heard of this film?
No.
Right. I've never heard of it. And my colleague at work recommended it. She said, oh, you'll love this. And it's like a 1980s horror movie, but it starts off like it starts off exactly like the film A Christmas Story. Like it's set in the 50s or something. And it's like, there's just kids and kids living their lives and getting bullied and like going to school. And I'm like, okay, what's this?
Kids living their lives, getting bullied.
Kids go to school and get bullied. That's the only two things that they do. And ride bikes, I guess. And it starts with this kid. He gets bullied, and they sort of chase him into the school, and then he gets locked in. And when he gets locked into the school, he sees a ghost of a little girl, and he realizes she's trying to tell that. And also there's like a killer on the loose, and he realizes, I think like I know who this. Like I can work out who the child killer is. But it goes super dark, and it has also got like a weird racial B story where they suspect the black caretaker, and he ends up like,
well, what appeals to you?
That was what I liked about it. I was about to turn it off, and then they were like, "Hey, do you know who's killed these kids? This guy. Look at his skin." And I was like, "Okay, we're in. Let's go." But it was. I would recommend it because it's really spooky, and also I think it's. I think the film is haunted because when I tried to pause it, the TV went nuts. The TV did not want it to be paused, and it was like going all. There was like snow on it. It was jumping. It was going on, and I was like, "What's this going on here?" Never happened on my TV before with anything. And then suddenly, every time I tried to pause it, it was like, "No, you ain't pausing it." So I had to stop pausing it and just watch it. And then also, there's a scene where the little ghost girl reveals her name, and just when she's about to say her name, the name came into my head, and I knew the name, and then she said it, and I was like, "Oh no, this
You've been
film's
messing
haunted."
around with those tarot cards again.
I know.
I like that the movie bullied you. You're not pausing this. You will watch this and you will like it.
Yeah. Put that phone down and give me your whole attention.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, sorry.
That's funny. That reminds me of a movie I watched. I think it was Silent Hill, the movie, and I was watching it in bed one night in parents' house, and I fell asleep, and I woke up just as the girl, the evil like entity thing, shows her face. I think like the woman's on the floor or something. She like peers over something, and as soon as her face comes and everything's crashing down and going nuts, the whole room started shaking, like lamps and everything just going nuts. And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was terrified. Anyway, I turned it off and convinced myself that no, that's nuts. Something happened. Anyway, but I think the first time in history, or at least all of my life, there was a tremor in fucking Runcorn.
Oh, I remember that.
And it was just perfectly timed for that moment, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!"
Wow.
Woof. Anyway, sorry, I was just looking at this Lady in White movie and just flicking through the pictures. God, that kid's got some fucking ears on him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Holy hell!
Yeah, they're quite distracting.
It's like a taxi with both doors open.
I was just looking at the Wikipedia, and it says Lady in White was independently funded by the director for a penny stock company formed with his cousin. Literally doing some Wolf of Wall Street shit just to get this going.
Yeah, if you Google Lady in White horror movie and it comes up with the Google top result thing, like 9 photos across, and there's this kid with. It's like in Home Alone where he puts the candle lights behind Kevin's ears. Whoa!
In a few scenes, Steve just put a hat on him. Just be like, "That's just ridiculous. Get a hat on him now."
I just noticed that Catherine Hellman was in it. She played Mona in Who's the Boss as well.
Yeah.
You know it's quality. Yeah, right.
Hey, it gets good reviews.
It's great. I really enjoyed it. It's a great film for this time of year as well, because it's like it starts off. It sort of runs like October through to Christmas time within the narrative, and it's a good film. Like the effects that cost so much money, which is why he had to privately fund it, all obviously have aged so badly now. But like the rest of it's really good, and there's loads of little twists in it that you go like you're watching it, going, "Oh, okay, I get where this is going," and then something happens, and you go, "Ah, whoa, need to pause this," and then the film's like, "No, you're not." Like, oh no.
All right, is that you?
That's me. That was my week. I think that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
400 people saw me burn a cross on stage, and then I watched a haunted film.
Yeah, it's a ripper.
It's a ripper. Oh, wonderful. What are your Halloween plans? Are you just going to stay at home and get fleeced by 10-year-olds again, or have you doing something
Yes.
new?
No,
Yep.
I am going to do that. I do it every. Well, also I'm off for a week because it's half term at work, so I'm off for a week. And we were going to go away, and Lewis was like, "Please, can we go away during Halloween so that we don't have to answer the door to kids?" And I'm like, "You never do it anyway. You sit there just grumbling that someone's coming to the door." Yeah, well, there's a lot of we on this plan. And then so I booked a holiday. I booked a holiday.
Keep
And
it clean, Kirst.
I booked it to come back on the 30th. So I booked it to arrive back on the 30th. And I was like, it's done now. It's all booked. Anyway, we're back here on Halloween. Yeah. And I've ordered, I ordered some, I went into my Temu order, didn't I? And I got some cheap stuff to give away to kids. That's a lot cheaper than spending 40 quid on sweets every year. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to get and I'm going to assemble all these bags myself. So they're going to get a little bag. And it says trick or treat on it, and inside is going to be some Halloween stickers and a lollipop and a jumping plastic frog. That's what they're going to get. Everyone.
That sounds fine.
Even the 15-year-olds
no one can get
are
angry
getting
about that.
Yeah, the 15-year-olds and 16-year-olds who just come with like balaclavas on, they're also getting that. So it's like, there you go.
Give him like a pumpkin flavored vape.
There'd be a massive queue outside my house, wouldn't there? Get on to number 26. She's gone nuts.
You just doxed yourself.
They don't know the street name. Every street's got a 26, Jed. Good luck.
Post it in the socials.
Post
If
it
you
in
know
the
where
socials.
Kirsty lives, leave it in the comments below.
I wonder if those serial killers from season 1 are still stalking us. might want to check on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Scrag's going to be running low on skulls around this time.
He has a rush, doesn't he, in October? I was just thinking, my friend Neil, who listens, whenever I have to sort of, he was lending me his slow cooker for Christmas dinner because our slow cooker was too small for Christmas dinner. It was very Christmas Carol type storyline, and he was like, "I'll drop it off. Which one's your house?" And I was like, "I'll put the Christmas lights on." This was like November, and I was like, "I'll put the Christmas lights on to identify my house." And so I always put the Christmas lights on. They never come down. I put the Christmas lights on Halloween as well. So my house has got all like the lights on as well. All the children know to come and not.
Oh, I'll post it on the socials anyway. But there was, I don't know, I can't remember if I shared it with you guys or not on the chat. But there was like a hot tip, which was just put up the Christmas tree and everything now, and then just throw a sheet over it for Halloween, and it has like the sheet ghost over the top of it. Amazing idea. Jed, have you got something ready to go, or do you need me to buy you some more time?
No, I'm ready to go, as it would say.
All right. How was your week, quote unquote, week in horror?
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was more or less summer at this point. But last week we went to watch the UK remake of Speak No Evil. Obviously, it's a little bit more tame than the original Danish Dutch version, but it's just an anxiety-inducing like ride. Like they all after we came out from the cinema, I was just like, your hands are like shaking. It's like not one of them films where it's like kind of jump scares. It's just like every few seconds, like the guy played by James McAvoy is just shouting. Like he just like flares off the handle. Like it reminded me of being at home, really. But the tension is absolutely off the wall. Like you don't know what's coming next, and it's obviously the remake, so you kind of get the gist of it. But James McAvoy is just an absolute, just a powder keg of like raw, like horrible, like anxiety. Every 5 minutes is just something else. Where it's more one of them films where you like look at the things that he's doing, and he's just like, it's just really awkward. You're like, why would someone do that in like just like a public setting? It's just so weird.
He's phenomenal, hey, as an actor. He's something else. I'm still sort of like, you've all probably seen that movie Split, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it still haunts me, that movie. That was terrifying. Like, he was so good in that movie. So good. Yeah, he's going to be, like, we'll be talking about him for years to come, I think, as one of those actors, hey. He's so good.
He's got that sort of, like, super tense
Yeah.
Him as well. You can't imagine him doing anything that lighthearted.
No, just tension. Absolute tension, hey?
One of the best things it shows is acting ability in Split is as well that he goes to like see the therapist and he's one of the other personalities pretending to be another one of the personalities, and the therapist sees right through it.
Yeah.
He's like he's like the one with the glasses. He's like a bit of a creep, and she like sees through that he's like pretending to be like the effeminate one who's like a fashion designer or something. He's like, I think this is like, are you really so and so? And he's like, no, of course I'm not. Like raised eyebrows, like I'm rumbled. But not to give too much away from Speak No Evil, but it's divisive. It's a little bit more sort of audience friendly than the original one, so it's a little bit easier to watch. I like tried to explain the Dutch Danish one to my partner when we went to watch it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to watch that." I was like,
"It's one of those movies that's just like when it had finished, I just thought, why did you do that? Why have you done that to us? Like, what's the merit here?" Like I said to Jen, I was like, "Video nasty, ban it." There's just no reason for it at all.
Yeah, it's one of them films that ends and you sat on the sofa like looking at your own reflection in the television screen, like just like downtrodden, like I'm gonna have to go have a bath now.
That's like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm just gonna go wake up both the kids.
I'll often chuck on like Simpsons or Seinfeld or something after that, just to like try and restore balance in the force.
What's the deal with couples that you meet on holiday and then you go and meet up with them afterwards? Just not right. I'm going to throw a brick at your head. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Speak No Evil. Certainly a more palatable version of the film. But yeah, I've got a bit of a Ryan Murphy sort of double bill as well. There's two shows that he's just started. Ryan Murphy being the guy who made like American Horror Stories and the Monsters series. He's just brought out two series. The first is Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, which is obviously a drama based on the 1989 like murder case. But it's just really intense. Like honestly, I didn't really know much about it until it was on. But it's really intense. But it's offset by a soundtrack by Milli Vanilli. Like because it's like around the 80s and 90s.
Terrifying.
I know, yeah. That's like. Because I was like, apparently it's based in fact. Like they had like "Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You" by Milli Vanilli at his mum's funeral, and he's like, they don't pay attention to anything by the dad. And then at the mum's funeral, he's like, "Yeah, Eric's really Lyle's really insistent on playing this song, so we're just gonna have to do this." So he insists that we do it, and that's like the funeral director. He's like, "All right, well, if he wants that, that's fine." And then he goes, okay, and he's like, we're now going to play a song, and it's like the parents' funeral, and they just put up a picture of the mum. He's like, and he's like sat in his seat with his brother, and he's like, hey, doing this. It's like the whole program is like offset by like random Milli Vanilli tunes, and it's like I get the point because that was what was playing at the time. That was like when they were quite famous, but it's like the subtext of what they're talking about and like the like scenes of them just like blowing the mum and dad apart with shotguns is like intercut with like random like sort of R&B like jazz blues. It's like, oh my god, what's going on here? Also, if you haven't watched it yet, I would just advise that one of the episodes, which is episode 5, you can skip that altogether. It's just absolutely horrible. We watched the whole series, but
everyone's just going to watch episode 5 first.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it now.
I can assure you that they won't, because like the whole series is like dramatized, but like you get to episode 5 and you get about a few minutes in and you realize, hold on, this whole episode is just a one shot where you just see like the back of his like attorney's head, this woman, and she's like doing an interview. And it's just literally like probably about 45 minutes of just like graphic descriptions of like abuse, and all it does is the camera just like zooms closer and closer and closer into his face. It's almost really exploitative as well. And this is on Netflix right now. But if you like the drama, you can literally skip one episode and you don't miss anything of it, because it's literally just a one shot of just really intense, just like descriptions of like really horrible shit. And you're just like, who is this for? It's like, it's not even like, honest to God, it's the episode's called The Hurt Man, and it can just be completely skipped.
Good shout, Jed. Yeah, good shout. Thank you.
The two guys who play the two boys, which is Cooper Koch and Nathan Alexander Chavez, are really good. But also, one of the things about this show is it makes me feel old, because Chloe is it Savigny? I think that's how you pronounce her surname. She's like the mother in it. But I remember her being in like Larry Clark's Kids and like all these young sort of hip films in the early 2000s, and now she's like the mum or the grandma, and he's just like, fuck me, I'm going to jump out the fucking window. But yeah, that's one to watch. But the second part of Ryan Murphy's is this new series which is called Grotesquerie. It's on FX in America, but it's on Disney Plus pretty much all around the world. It's like a sort of murder detective mystery type thing, but it has these absolutely elaborate murder scenes. They're just absolutely insane. There's one bit where it's like a murder scene, it's like the Last Supper, but with all like spikes through people's heads and all sorts. And
subscribe.
It's absolutely insane.
Sorry, I just looked it up, and that's that main image of like, it looks like someone in a big white cloak running past a load of red crosses. That's what we did at the show on Monday. Oh no!
There's a review curse. One word: grotesquerie.
Oh no! Oh, that's bad.
But yeah, it's obviously I've only watched the first two episodes because the other two came out yesterday, and it's one of them programs we're trying to watch during the day, so we're not like going to bed having like nightmares of people being like mashed up in meat grinders and stuff. But Paul will appreciate this, because the main character is played by, I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's like Niecy Nash from Reno 911, and she plays like this like hard-boiled detective alcoholic. And I'm just waiting for like Lieutenant Dangle to just like come round the corner in a pair of shorts. It's like I associate her so much with Reno 911. She was like on it for like 10 years. See her in anything else, I'm just like, yeah, that's exactly what she was. Generally, what I've been sort of consuming recently. But I've spent the entire summer playing Elden Ring pretty much religiously, like every day.
Nerd.
I'll tell you what, it has some of the most grotesque things you've ever seen. Like some of the character names are just horrible, like Wormface, the lesser Wormface, like the blood gulp, and all these things. Some of the enemies are just like pulsating blobs that like stab you with sticks.
If you just spoiler alert, if you try and name your kids that, they'll say no. Yeah. Mate, you pick a new name. Wormface.
The Wormface is actually their only attack is puking on you, a thing called the Death Blight, which will instantly impale you with a root that bursts out of your face.
Pretty much like kids, yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing all summer. But yeah, Elden Ring, absolutely amazing, but equally disgusting. Like in one point, you could be like just walking around, and then the next minute you're just eaten by a giant flower that's covered in poison.
What are your Halloween plans?
Dressing up the dogs in hilarious costumes.
Yeah.
Of course.
You're going to dress them up as the Menendez brothers?
Like, which one's Eric? Obviously, the older one's going to be the old one, obviously. But no, we know that the small one, he's dead fluffy. Zeus, we were thinking about putting him, dressing up his cousin it, because he's like dead fluffy and whatever, but we were trying to figure out where we're going to get like a tiny top hat and a tiny pair of like round sunglasses.
Timu.
Yeah.
They're already in my basket.
Timu's always a shout.
I'm sorry, this isn't video, so we couldn't just shoot to a clip of the dog putting its paw over its face and going, oh. My week in horror So I've got two wonderful Finn-isms that I'll start with. So we're driving. I can't remember where we're driving to now, but we were on a fair drive out somewhere, and I don't know how we got onto the subject of this. It was something to do with Finn wanted the phone to watch something or look at something on the phone, and he was talking about numbers and can you dial it and blah blah blah. We got into the subject of dialing 000, which is our 999, or for the American listeners, 911. And Kath was like, always trying to teach him. I'm more like, shut up, Finn. And Kath's like, when you dial, when would you dial that? What would happen? And she started trying to get it out of him, and then she put in these scenarios. She said, okay, and it wound up was, okay, so if we had a crash now, and mum and dad were unconscious, and you need to dial, what would you do? And you dial 000. Right, okay, but what would you say to them? Because he was trying to understand what it was and why you would do it. And he's like, and this is after a good 15, 20 minutes of different scenarios and lessons. And are you clapping already, Bob? I haven't finished
No, sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, I was cracking my knuckles, sorry.
Bloody hell.
I'm going to punch you so hard for teaching your kid.
And then he's going through it, and she's like, okay, so what would you do? And he says, oh, okay, so I'll call 000 and call it, and I'll say, we've had an accident in the car, and my mum and dad are unconscious, and I need a ride home. His only concern was, how am I going to get home now? Watch fucking Pokemon. And that was after, so I was absolutely cackling with laughter. And Cass hitting me like, this is a wrong time. This is a very important lesson. I need a ride home. Or just leave them, they're dead.
Can we stop at Mackey's on the way?
Yeah, can we get Macca's?
Because the people who've cooked my food are dead, so I'm gonna need Macca's, please.
You know what? Even if the worst happened and he was in the back of a police car or something like that, coming like getting a lift to stay at relatives or something like that, friends, he would flat out ask them if he could stop at Macca's on the way, regardless of what just happened.
Is there like a whiteboard of like a picture of an ambulance, like an extra? Not taxi. This taxi.
Well, they're too tall. They can't even get through. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then in the same trip, he's got a balloon from I don't know where. Kids just end up with balloons somehow occasionally. And he's sat in the back with this balloon, and Melody wants it. And I'm like, she's screaming and grabbing, and he won't let it. And he's like, I'm like, Finn, just let her play with it. And he's like, no, what? And he's like, what do you want it for? What do you want it for? Why do you need it?
Point.
What are you going to do with it? Why do you need it? And I'm like, Finn, it's a balloon. What do you think she wants it for? What do you think she's going to do with it? And he goes, she might want it for evil. Well, you know what she did? Because as soon as she got it, she just burst it.
Yeah.
She thought it was hilarious. Finn was devastated. She didn't want it for evil. Turns out.
I wish I'd seen the look on Finn's face when she burst it and he looked at you. It's like, I'm going to remember this. They're going to call me the balloon killer because of this moment, Dad.
Maybe he saw it like he's a seer, like he's a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Maybe he knew.
She might want to use it for evil was the exact quote. I had to write it in my phone. No,
That's so good.
And I also, the only other thing, except for my Halloween plans, which are way better than anyone else's, just FYI.
Well, we'll see.
It's not why I brought it up in the first place. But, I watched Longlegs. I was so excited for so long about watching. I've never been so excited about anything in my life than watching Longlegs. You've heard I've got children. Never been more excited. And unlike many people, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. I think its failure to begin with was they went a bit overboard with the marketing, as they all. Horror movies seem to be doing this now. They go nuts with marketing straight out of the gate.
Yeah,
because they think, people just think, it's a horror movie. Because people do. Like if you say, did you watch such and such a movie? And as soon as they hear that it's a horror movie, they're like, not like you being a child or something. Well, maybe they're right. Anyway, so they went so berserk. There was that number where you could call it, and Nicolas Cage plays a message on the phone. Yeah. And then there was the one where they released a scene and it says, this is the first time, what's the name? Is it Micah Monroe? Who plays Lee Harker? Don't know. No one knows?
Nope. I don't know.
All right. Well, her name is Micah Monroe. And it was her. I don't know how they recorded it anyway. They obviously didn't. It was just a marketing thing. But it was her heart rate, because it was the first time she'd see Nicolas Cage in all the makeup. And I was like, that's a bit much, really. Like, this has got to be the world's best horror movie now that you've done all this. And really, if they hadn't have done that, it would have got much better reception than it did. I thought it was a great movie, and I thought it was different. Like, it's not what you're expecting, but in a good way. It's not the same tired old, because I was thinking, what are they going to do with the serial killer thing? What new stuff are they going to do? Is it going to be the same tired old movie with different actors in it? And it wasn't. It was different. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Did you think it was a bit weird the way they kind of summed it all, like they kind of wrapped it all up in the last 10 or so minutes, though? Do you think it was all...
Oh, yeah.
That's that classic kind of, will Hollywood the end, It just, like, for me, that was the only thing I really didn't like about it. And it wasn't until it was pointed out to me, because I come to work saying, I finally watched it. And this dude at work's like, I fucking hated the end. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, they did that Hollywood thing. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. I didn't like that end. Boo.
Smashing shit up.
Yeah. And then I started thinking about the other movies I watched that had the same kind of thing, like the first Conjuring film and that sort of thing. Like, you start to think about the way they wrap the movies up, and they don't leave any like cliffhangers there for you. It's just like, everything's cool now, we're done.
Yes.
Yeah.
and it seemed a bit like it was like they had an idea, but they hadn't developed it enough.
Yeah.
Because then when I went back and thought about the story, because Nicolas Cage just gets attacked all the time, and honestly, I've never seen a movie with Nicolas Cage in that I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, he's a bit, exactly, he's a bit much and whatever. But I was like, actually, the writing, I don't think they really had 100%. It's like these bloody podcasts. It all comes together in the last 10, 15 minutes. I don't think they really knew what they were going to do, and they didn't really have an ironclad story there or anything. But I will say, I thought Nicolas Cage was absolutely amazing playing that part. I didn't think it was some crazy, wild, oh God, what's he going to do with it? I think it was amazing. Couldn't imagine anyone doing a better job at playing that character than him. And there were bits in it, like I'm sure if I watch it on the TV, not in a movie theater, it's not going to affect as much. But there were some jump scares in it. I remembered one in particular almost had me leaping out of the seat. One thing that Kath actually mentioned to me that was in an interview in a podcast or some media of some sort. There was a sound guy doing it, and he's like, nowadays doing movies as a sound guy, it's a nightmare because the directors, producers, whomever, they want all of the action scenes to like blow the speakers out of your TV, but any dialogue or anything, they want it really like moody and super quiet. And you'll notice that it's not just me being old. We'll generally have subtitles on if you watch a movie because you can't hear what the fuck they're saying most of the time. They're just mumbling. And if you turn it up, next minute there's a car crash and you're like, Jesus Christ, blows your head off. And the sound guy said, and this is just talking to Nicolas Cage as being absolute top flight actor that he is. And I've heard this exact same thing said about Alec Baldwin. He was like, if he's whispering or mumbling or screaming at the top of his voice, it's always there, crystal clear, and he never clips the levels.
Wow.
He was like, I have to re-record stuff so often and move mics around and fuck around to try and, I'm paraphrasing, fuck around to try and get it done, get the job done. And he's like, but actors like this and Nicolas Cage, you just throw the mic on there and done. He somehow controls it all himself. Never, even when he's screaming at the top of his voice, never goes into the red, ever. And I've heard, like I said, I've heard the same thing about Alec Baldwin as well. They said the same thing. They can't hear him. They're like, we're going to have to reshoot this. This was on 30 Rock. It was Tina Fey who was saying it. But then when they listen back and look at the tape, it's all there, crystal clear, no issue. And it only seems to be these, mega actors who can do it. And it really just goes to show, jokes aside, I'm fucking Nicolas Cage. And this is why I am where I am. You know what I mean? This is why I do 2 bags of coke and go on a talk show.
You think that's why Kim Jong-un wanted him in Team America, wanted Alec Baldwin? He's just such a good actor, he just knew.
Yes. We're not going to do any fucking around here.
We just want Eric Bowie. Yeah.
Best part of Alec Baldwin is best in like Glengarry Glen Ross. He's only in it for like 6 minutes or something, and he just like comes in and absolutely he's the most memorable. The whole film is filled with like absolutely world class actors like Al Pacino and obviously to a lesser extent Kevin Spacey. When he was actually someone you actually wanted to see, but it's like Alec Baldwin, Ed Harris, Alan Arkin, Jonathan Pryce, Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon, and Alec Baldwin walks in for like all of 5 minutes, gives him an absolute talking down, tells him to fuck off and walks out. he just makes the whole film.
So then to wind up my week in horror, my Halloween plans are, so I've got a new job and it's based in Adelaide, the branch I'm working for. And they said, we need you to come down for the week when we get you onboarded. It's going to be the week of the 28th. No! Halloween! I've got Halloween plans! I'm going to have to just tell them the deal's off. Anyway, I just have a look online. Adelaide is nuts on Halloween. There's so much that goes on Halloween. There's Facebook pages dedicated to it. They really go all out. And one of the things I could book was there was a ghost hunt, a ghost tour, and then both of them combined. That was quite expensive, and as you all know, well, maybe the listeners don't know because at the end of the last season I wasn't, I am a qualified paranormal investigator. I have a piece of paper that someone else has produced.
You got it.
I've got it.
Yes.
I am qualified, and I'm thinking, hang on, I'm paying you for this? I should be sending you an invoice at the end of the night. And a report.
Industry discount, right? So like industry discount.
Yeah.
Like, trust me, I'm a colleague.
Discount.
It's a holiday. I don't want to be working on a holiday.
I love that we had to wait to season 2 to get that. It wasn't wrapped up like a Hollywood ending in season 1.
It was a little dangle, and everyone's completely forgotten.
But do you know who you are? Do you remember when we talked about arachnophobia? And the guy, Bugs Be Gone, the guy shows up and he's like, good to meet a colleague. You're that guy. You're that guy. And the actual paranormal expert is like, oh, one of these guys. What do you want? You did an internet. You did an internet course, did you? Yeah, you got your printout. Yeah, let's see that.
Well, it's funny. I did mention to Kath as well. I was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm not going to be able to stand there and watch them either incorrectly use or interpret one of these expensive pieces of equipment that I have actually used for its intended purpose before and have them tell me it's a ghost. Actually, if I could just borrow that a second. So, but anyway, I just booked the ghost tour, but it's a ghost tour of a haunted asylum on Halloween night.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good if I survive.
Ooh.
Tell you all about it.
And if you don't, we're definitely getting our own Wikipedia page as like a haunting. We're on Creepypasta. We're on it. If you die,
God, my name's just ruined that. All right, I'll have to survive somehow. Otherwise, I'll be like, what's all this bullshit? He died in a crash, didn't he? Remember his son got a ride home at the end of it.
They stopped at Macca's for him.
When that actor died, Paul's Facebook was just like people making the same joke over and over. It was like, "Are you all right, Paul? Seen you been in a bit of trouble there?"
I still get it. I still get it all the time.
Can I remind you that his death was announced while I was at a science fiction convention, and they came out and they were like, "We're really sorry to say this, but Paul Walker's passed away." And I was like, "Why are you telling me like this?" And then everyone was really upset. I was like, "Oh, the actor, right? Yeah."
When everyone was upset because they went Kalukale kicking their heels. It was like, wait a minute, something's not right here.
Oh.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. So I'll report back on that, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh, okay. So my week in horror, again, I watched movies and stuff as well. One that I'd sort of missed and I came back to, and I'm really glad I did, was the movie from 2015, The Witch.
Mm.
Oh, man, that was cool. Like, it was really, I didn't think I'd be as invested in it as I was. And by the end of it, I'm like, oh, this is unreal. Like, it was beautifully shot. The story was great. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I'm like, where do I know all these people from? I'm looking at the actors. I'm like, and it's like a bunch of them are from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ralph Ineson is the dad, and he's quite famous over here because he's in the UK office.
Been in everything. He's literally in everything.
Yeah.
He's done like every voiceover of every history program that you've watched for like.
It's got a hell of a voice.
Yeah. And Kate Dickie was the one that I remember. She was the one that just remember in Game of Thrones, the one that was in that castle with the hole in that they'd push people out of, and she had that weird son. Yeah. Yeah, man, it was a great movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got another one on my list to watch. You Should Have Left, that Kevin Bacon movie.
Mm.
I've got that to watch as well. So
yeah, that's on my list too.
Yeah.
The Witch is directed by Robert Eggers. He's making the upcoming Nosferatu film.
Yeah, that looks interesting as well. Hey, I'm kind of keen for that.
As long as they don't The Crow it, I
won't do it. Hey, I won't do it. We were talking about it at work the other day, unnecessary sequels, and like Coming to America 2. Did that really need to be made?
Yeah, and it stinks of Jared. Is it Jared Leto?
Yeah.
Joker. Yeah. It's like, no.
Yeah, well, dude, the new Joker movie's out as well, and I'm like, I'm not going to watch that either. I think because
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't get good.
It's a musical. I don't want to watch a musical.
I'm not that old yet. I'm not waiting to go and see the eye doctor or anything. Meet me in St. Louis.
Hey,
so yeah.
That's good.
My favorite film.
I saw a review that said a lot of the musical bits are like in his head, and then the parts that are not in his head that are musical is just basically Joaquin Phoenix like mumbling like, "I'm sorry." It was like it was doing to show an example of what the non-dream sequence musical parts was. They had Will Ferrell in Elf, just like singing a song to his dad. It's like, "You're my dad, you made me so happy."
I'm in a store and I'm singing and I love you.
That's what the non-dream sequence parts of Joker sound like. It's like you watch a whole movie of Joker just to watch him become like the Joker at the end, and then in Joker 2 he's back to pathetic Arthur. He's like, why?
And my Halloween plans this year, I'm actually going to be in Los Angeles for Halloween this year. Yeah, I know, right?
He beat you, Paul.
No, it gets better. I'll be at Universal Studios on the 31st, and they do this thing.
Wow.
They do this thing called hang on, it's like a haunted, like they go all out. There's this haunted
Like Halloween Horror Night or something.
Yeah, and there's like, oh, dude, it looks amazing. There's like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre room, and there's like all of this stuff going on. So yeah, I'll be in LA for that, which will be. I'm literally going for the Simpsons thing, and I'm staying for the Halloween stuff. So yeah.
Because I've already made such a big show about me going to watch anything in Adelaide, I'm just going to cut all this, by the way, Bob. This is going to be cut. I'm going to chop it down to just your segment. And that will be it. And that will be it.
Or at the end, it'll say, Bob died on his way to Universal. He gets lifted out of frame.
Ghost Mutt died on his way back. No,
What will you be doing for Halloween, Paul? I will be in Adelaide on my own in a hotel.
With an alibi.
With an alibi.
All the hotel stuff, like, why does that guy keep coming down and noting the time? It's like, hey, Jim behind the bar, it's 7:25. Yeah, and I'm here. I am.
Paul Walker.
Here's my card.
You're just like at the bar cracking your knuckles. Yeah, Paul Walker. That's a name you won't forget, will you, barman? Yeah. But yeah, look, the rooms and things that they're doing, this horror nights, Halloween horror nights thing. There's as I said, there's a Texas Chainsaw one. There's a Quiet Place as well, and there's this other Insidious, the Further Room. But there's, I know it sounds weird, but the one that kind of gets me, there's one that's got that Megan doll in it, and it's like, man, this is going to be cool. Like I'm excited for that. So I'll report back. I'll send photos and stuff. I'll report back.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
And then the next day I'm off to Tijuana. Again,
greatest place on earth.
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep after being scared, and then like get down to Tijuana and drink myself to sleep with margaritas. That's it.
So you're going somewhere that's fake scary to somewhere that is probably actually very scary.
That is definitely scary. Yeah.
Border town in Mexico.
Yeah, I'm gonna get sold for parts in Mexico for sure.
Like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like an experience in Universal Studios, and you go into a place where cartels literally peel people's faces off their body and then post it on the internet.
Well, this is just like the thing I saw at Universal Studios.
And you look just like the worker there.
So yeah, it's going to be cool. Oh, there you go. There's a Monstrous 2, The Nightmares of Latin America.
Now I regret saying that thing about you died on the way back.
No bueno.
Oh yeah, so that's my Halloween plans, guys. So. And so, being the inaugural guest on this show, I've spent the entire sort of week or so rewatching as many episodes of the Treehouse of Horror, The Simpsons, as I could in the time that I had. And holy hell, there is, they've just been renewed for a new season up to like season 36. They're going to season 37, and the Treehouse of Horrors, they're awesome. Like they stand out above all of the people say, it got a bit shit after this season or whatever. But you watch the Treehouse of Horrors, I don't think they count. I actually think they're kind of on their own. So and my brother, he's not the brightest bloke, my little brother. He's not, but he gave me the most sagely advice with this, right? I'm like, do I start from the start and sort of work my way? And he's like, no. When you want to watch a series you've sort of seen before, you've seen some. He said, start at the newest and work your way back until you find the ones that you've seen already. And I'm like, that's fucking genius. So I started doing that. The Pookadook one was the one that probably jumped out at me, which is a piss take of the Babadook, which was really, really interesting. There's a bunch in there, but like the one that kind of probably affected me the most was Treehouse of Horror 28. So they do a Coraline thing, and those button eyes are fucking terrifying. I don't know, like, it's unsettling, right? It is. It's yeah. And they all Anyway, so that's been, so to kind of I guess to bring it back to what I was like, I guess the Treehouse of Horror stuff. My kids have just, like, in the last sort of few months, I've got a 6 and an 8-year-old, and I'm like, let's just smash Simpsons, dudes, and they're like all over it. My son and daughter, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe you're ready for some Treehouse of Horrors. So we started watching the early ones, and man, like, as I said, I swear they stand above everything else. The Treehouse of Horrors. Yeah. So there's the one that the kids love the most is Hell to Pay. the one where Homer gets Snake's hair and starts killing people. So my son will say something and he'll just look at me and go, "Little dude." It's so much fun. It's awesome. So there was that one, and the other one is the it's one of the early ones. Yeah, season 3, Dolls Eat for Zombies.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just
fantastic.
Classic. Honourable mention, The Day of the Dolphin or Night of the Dolphin. Do you remember that one from season 11?
That gave Cass' brother Angus really bad nightmares for a long time, and it's still a joke when we mention it about the dolphins.
It's such a great one, eh?
Snorky or something, isn't it? We hate it in there.
Just Lenny swimming, alcohol and night swimming. That's a winning combination.
The clouds in the sea.
It's so good, man.
There was an episode where Bart invents this sort of character who used to work at the school.
Dark Stanley.
Dark Stanley.
Yeah, that's a standalone episode. It's about season 18 from
it's
memory.
Not even a Treehouse of Horror. And it's terrible. And then right at the end, he's talking to the therapist.
Yeah, to the therapist, yeah.
And it turns out it's all real, and you're like, what? It's fucking terrifying.
You know what? I'm gonna preface this, right?
It's so creepy.
I remember as I'm watching all of the Treehouse episodes, I'm like, I remember there was a Dark Stanley episode. I found it and I watched it as well. I actually watched the Dark Stanley episode. So, yep. Man, the story of Dark Stanley, the way he's describing it to the kids and the way that they animate it.
The animation is the worst. Where the kids' heads are coming out of the the stew.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. And then just at the end where she brings it up and she's like, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. And they're playing the music. It's the same. Is it from 12 Monkeys or whatever? There's that music, that boppy kind of music. I'm trying to think where it's from. It reminds me of 12 Monkeys or something. It's yeah.
But yeah, it was just standard episode. What the fuck? And it was even there was like in this sort of like weird, creepy. God, my mum would kill me for forgetting the arts. The sort of style, but it's just the like cartoon style when they're doing the story of him.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yep.
It's absolutely horrifying.
Yep.
Like, I know it's never really been a kids' TV show, but man, that's just can't imagine that coming on at like 5 p.m.
Wow. It was season 18 from memory. I'm sure it's about season 18 somewhere. Yeah.
And I would say, because other than that, I'd say the only one that ever really got to me was the one where Groundskeeper Willie is Freddy Krueger, basically.
The skeleton powers, yeah.
And I was, you know what, I've written down like all the best quotes out of them.
Yeah.
Man, they were so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that one. I love that Bart wakes up screaming after Willie gets him in his dream. Because he's like, oh, it was just a dream. Then he pulls his pajama top off and he's got those rake marks across him.
Yeah.
and he screams, and you can just hear Homer in the distance going, "Bart, is that you?" And he goes, "Yes. Take out the garbage." Oh, but yeah, he ran his floor buffer over me. Smart weather. It's just like every like 30 seconds. There's absolute 2 spaghetti meals. It's from this. A lot of the people on the meme things don't get it. It's from that episode. It's a Treehouse of Horror thing. Skeleton.
And he's on fire. And he's on fire, sitting there waiting for Kirk Van Houten to stop talking.
Oh God! Don't dream about me no more, kid. Krusty with the Super Bowl. And then my one that I always quote to people who fall asleep on car trips and stuff like that. Whereas Bart at the end is like, "Bye, Lise. Hope you can get reincarnated as someone who can stay awake for 15 minutes." One last dig at her. Oh, magnificent. Oh, but there's so many good ones. I remember the shinning.
Oh,
for his birthday one year, I got my dad this. It's a Simpsons car with them all sat in it, and it's you like press different bits of it, and it has different Simpsons quotes. Well, they're all out of that episode. Like when you lock the front door, you remember to lock the back door, and that sort of thing.
It's funny how many little bits are in the regular episodes as well. Like you remember in the in the Cape Fear episode when Homer kicks the door down, but want to see him a new chainsaw and hockey mask?
Come on, let me cut you a brownie.
Son, don't panic, but there may or may not be a boogeyman in the house.
My kids say that. They're like, "Dad, I don't want to alarm you."
You know, I think that is my favourite Simpsons episode ever. That one. That is an absolute cracker. I call him Gambler.
Mine would be the one that has the shinning in it. That's Treehouse of Horror 6. The other two, apart from the shinning, are Time and Punishment. That's the one where Homer turns the toaster into a time machine, and then he goes back in time, and then he steps on I think he punches a giant mosquito or something. And then he ends up, when they get back, like Ned Flanders is the overlord. It's the unquestioned lord and master of the world. But he just he comes up out the floor on a TV, sends him for re-education.
Well, they go in and they take a bit of the brain. That's right, Mo's holding it in the jar.
Who's that big man?
Bless. He arrives in a universe where they're wealthy and Patty and Selma have died, but no one knows what donuts are, and then it starts raining donuts from the sky.
I just love the bit where he says, "Well, remember what your dad said?" He's like, "Yeah, if you travel back in time, don't touch anything." Like, what the hell? Just a random flash of that and the stupid bug. You go squish now. Yeah. I say that every time I have to kill a fly or a mosquito.
I think my favourite line out of that episode is right at the start where he gets his hand stuck in the toaster, and then Bart goes, "It's in there again." I generally can't breathe for about 30 seconds after that, every time I watch it.
Yeah. But that whole episode ends with Nightmare Cafeteria, which is arguably one of the most more disturbing episodes of the, because it's just the people in the teachers in the school just start randomly eating the kids, and it's it's not really got any sort of fly one-liners or anything. It's just genuinely malevolent, and then
and the ending. Oh
Yeah, it ends when they fall into a food processor and then Bart wakes up. And Marge goes, you have, don't worry, son, you have nothing to fear except that fog that turns people inside out. Oh, here it comes now. And then that is one of the most grotesque scenes from any of the Simpsons.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, they launch into like a musical number.
It's like
the
canes and
drags
hats. Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
absolutely.
Treehouse of Horror
one-
6 is like one that's all time better. But there's another one, I can't remember where it's from, but it's the one where for some reason Homer's in 3D. He ends up going into like a black hole, and he ends up like in the actual human universe at the end, like
That's right.
climbing out of a bin.
It's called Homer Cubed. Humor.
Yeah.
It's called Homer Cubed. Yeah, and he goes into that erotic cake shop at the end.
Erotic cake.
That's this is a square. Slow down, egghead. Yeah.
Oh, Chief Wiggum's so good in all of these horror ones that he's in. Yeah, I know which one you say it.
No. Sorry, I thought of you the other day when the chili episode was on. And Homer comes back and he's like, and he says, "It's not my job to talk people out of killing themselves." I meant to send you like a screenshot of that or whatever. I meant to send it to you and I forgot. But just those little lines you forget about. But Wiggum is just, yeah.
Oh, but the one that you did send me that I was talking about was Attack of the 50-Foot Eyesores, where he shoots the basketball captain. And he goes, oh, yeah, but he was turning into a monster, though. Oh, wow. But yeah, I think for me, the scariest one of all of them, if we're sticking with Treehouse of Horror, has got to be Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace.
Yeah.
Especially the part where he comes up out of the sand as like that bagpipe spider thing. Whoa.
Bagpipes.
Got me.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. It's just terrifying.
Yeah.
No one has mentioned...
What do you reckon?
Well, my favourite one is the first one. Bad Dream House, Hungry Are the Damned, and The Raven.
Oh, yeah.
That's three. No one mentioned Hungry Are the Damned has got so many brilliant
He said he
lines.
mentioned it 5 or 6 times.
Just blowing the dust off the book repeatedly.
Yeah.
To serve
more
50.
space dust. Oh.
That's my favorite. And what's the one? I had it in my head a minute ago. There's just so many. There's just so many that are like you just forget until you come back. I think it's one of the, like you said, it's even in the later series. It's that I'm not a huge fan of the last sort of 10 series or whatever. But then they do seem to pull out all the stops when they get to the Halloween episode and make it funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, we're back. Clown Without Pity. That's what I was trying to. When he gets the crusty doll. And
yeah.
And he's like, it's just there's a switch. You've got this thing set to evil, which I say a lot.
Dude just rocked with a durry in his mouth, and he's like, "Yeah, you got it switched to evil." That's all it was.
When they call the helpline, it's everybody loves a clown. Why don't you?
I'm gonna send. I'm gonna send you something in the chat. I found something when I was just sort of researching stuff for everyone. I found you can get a miniature book of where is it? Yes, I Am a Vampire by Monty Burns, forwarded by Steve Allen. It's a mini book. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh.
That's good for a needful thing.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Just we were talking about this the other day. I mentioned that the Treehouse of Horror has been on for so long. One of the episodes is about the 1996 US presidential election. She has Bob Dole and Bill Clinton as aliens.
Oh.
They're walking down the
That's
streets
right,
holding
yeah.
hands.
If you could think of a better way to exchange large protein strings, I'd like to hear it.
That's right.
Abortions for some, miniature American flags for others.
Yeah, so do yourself a favor. In the lead up to Halloween, it just, you know what, when you need a break from all of these scary movies you're watching, you need to just, balance everything out. Start watching the Treehouse of Horrors because they're so much fun.
Okay, I'm shuffling the cards. Hang on.
Hold them up to the mic so we know that you're not just pretending.
Love that you're doing this before you got to get on the bus.
Just at the bus stop. That's what you do.
I'd take it with a pinch of salt because you might be legally blind at this point.
The cards are in Braille, yeah.
You've got the Diaz card.
She gets a new glasses and she goes, "Oh shit, that was the Grim Reaper." I'll be all right.
It'll be fine. Okay, Bob, you need to think of a problem that you've got.
I've got lots.
Just one, mate.
Just one. We haven't got all day.
All right. Okay. My problem is overthinking everything.
Okay.
Overthinking every single thing in my life, every relationship.
Well, this is going to be good because I'm going to reveal cards, which you will then have to overthink. So, okay. So let's. I'm going to deal the cards now. So, God, this is where I can't remember how to do it. I remember how many cards it is. It's 3, right? I think.
Well, you did.
Yeah, you're going to pull like a draw 4, right?
You did 3 last time, but it seemed
Okay,
very much
three's
because you
fine.
didn't know what the number was.
Three's fine. Okay, I just have to. So I now need to reveal the cards. So the cards are animal. You have drawn animal, which has a werewolf on it. Escape, which has Pan's Labyrinth on it, and fertility, which has the Wicker Man on it. But now I have to ask. Yeah, animal, escape, fertility. I'm wondering what this overthink that. So
way ahead of you.
So now
They caught Bob at the RSPCA after closing time.
So now I have to ask Bob, for the animal card, would you like that to be inverted or the other one, the right way up? Upright.
I'm inverted. Disinverted. I'm taking disinverted, please.
Let me find. The problem is you have to then look through the damn thing. Oh, animal. That's right at the start.
He wanted it sunny side up.
Sunny side up. Okay. So the question, I'm not sure. So when dealing with others, assuming one's superiority can lead to cruelty or worse, the exertion of power by fear or force. The feeling that one is or knows better than anyone else can be mitigated through empathy, Bob. Recognizing what we have in common with each other. Aren't we all hopeful animals in some form? And it says, think about in your situation, what rules apply here and must they be obeyed?
Oh, it's like you've known me all my life. Yeah.
Okay, so, and your second card, would you like it to be upright or reversed?
You know what? Let's do it upright. Let's do it reversed.
Reversed. Okay, so this card, the escape card, says finding refuge in stories of what is one of the defining characteristics of being human. Sometimes we tell ourselves stories to live through dark or dangerous times. And if you reverse that card, it says, Bob, stay focused on where you are. So don't do anything. That's what it says.
Just keep overthinking. You got it.
Yeah, don't do anything about that. Maybe it's a good thing that you overthink things. Maybe you need that. And then the third card, are you going to be upright or reversed?
Let's go upright.
Upright, okay. So the fertility card says self-righteousness can lead us down a path of our own making that can be personally disastrous. Are you a self-righteous person, Bob, do you think?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. So it basically says you're a bit of a racist. It says remaining open to cultural and spiritual differences creates the possibility of understanding and connection.
Did you say it said I'm a racist?
Yes, it says, it's what it says, yeah. And it says
I'm a white Australian. Does that count? Yeah.
Oh, you are? All right. Now you're definitely racist. Yeah. It says rituals, be they personal or social, may be productive in ways not immediately apparent. And it says the energy is coming to you. Stay open to new ideas. I think what these cards are saying, and I will now sum up the reading from your point of view, is that you're overthinking what you need to do with that is you need to remember that emotions in the brain only exist for about 5 seconds, and it's the stories we attach to the emotion which makes you overthink. So if you feel scared, if you just let yourself have the emotion and go, yeah, I'm scared. If you then attach a story to it, so I'm scared because I heard a noise and that means there's someone getting into my house and I need to pick up this knife and attack them.
Pajero
then that's where
maintenance manual.
Yeah, or the Haynes manual. Then then that could lead to issues. So you need to, when you're experiencing an emotion, just go through it, just experience it, and do not attach any stories to it. And I think the third card, the ritual card, is saying that this Halloween you should throw yourself into all of the Halloween rituals that you see on your trip. So when you're in, Tijuana, they will be still they will be still doing Day of the Dead, right? So maybe you should get involved.
Yeah. Okay. Stop being racist and embrace Mexican culture is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Tequila.
Yeah.
Sí, senor.
I think you should make an ofrenda. Have you ever done that before? It's like a little altar. You decorate it with flowers and photographs of loved ones that have passed to the other side, and then you add like bits of like food that they would have liked, and it's like a little altar, and you light candles around it, and you do that for the 3 days of the Day of the Dead, and it means that your people who've passed on in your life can come back, and they will see that you've remembered them and you've left them a little treat, and then they will protect you then for the rest of the year. And that's always good to have one in the pocket.
The rest of the year.
That's crazy. If I leave
yeah.
a Chico roll and a photo of my granddad out, that's what's going to happen.
Yep. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, for like 2 months, and then it'll stop. I can protect Bob till the end of the year. That's nothing.
Yeah, you're certified now. You know ghosts. Yeah.
And then you can do the immortal Homer line, which is, if you want me to eat the cookie for you, give me absolutely no sign. I will be done.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kirsty. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Needful Things.
I found this cool thing. I'm actually going to get it for my place here. I'll describe it. I'll send it in the chat. But I'm looking for art and stuff for my apartment. Right, I need to make it look less like boring. So I'm trying to find things to put around. And as much as I want to put a mural, like an 8-foot size mural of Macho Man Randy Savage doing the cream of the crop in my apartment. I'm like, I need some art. And I'm like, what can I do? What's something sort of goofy? And I looked on, those like in this house things?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a horror one, and it's got like cartoons of like Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and stuff. And it's like the Michael Myers one says, "We love family," and then the Freddy Krueger says, "Dream big," and and the ghost face is like scary movies, and then Jigsaw says, "Play games," and then Jason is Love Friday. And it's this little cartoon thing that's in this house. So I'm going to get that for my apartment. I think that was my needful thing.
That's awesome.
I've got a couple. So I've got they've brought out, so there's this new toy, this is like a Funko Pop, and it's called U2s, and they're hugely expensive. They're like 30 quid. But they've got one of the power washer from Power Wash Simulator. And I really want it. And I think like
the cane from Citizen Kane.
Wait a minute. But it's like I really want it, and every year my nana our Nana, mine and Paul's, says to, like, you can have a 30 quid budget for your Christmas present and your birthday present, and this is like, it's about 30 quid, and I might just go, Nana, I want this Power Wash Simulator doll, and she won't have a clue what's going on or why I want. But yeah, it's kids, and it's like, it's the Power Washer. It's me as the Power Washer. The other thing that I've got, right, so I was in B&M, and they always at Christmas bring out these really bizarre sort of licensed gift sets, and I was in there, and I saw this Squid Game set, which is like, it's 2 shot glasses, and then there's like flavored sort of alcohol. It's like flavoring for alcohol, red light and green light bottles. And then there's a box of marbles to play the marble game. I'm like, why would you make the most upsetting episode of Squid Game into a gift set for Christmas to try and get people? Maybe the one when you lose marbles, you die. Play this with your family. I thought it was such a bizarre, because people are going to be like buying it for, oh, do you know what she loves? She likes that show Squid Game. I'll just get this for her. It's only a £5. And then they won't have any context whatsoever. And then you'll have to explain, what is it in the game? Do they play marbles? It's like, they do play marbles, yes. I need to go and cry for a minute, sorry. It's this really upsetting thing. And I just don't know why. It's almost like it's all of these licensing things. It's almost like they've not watched the show. They don't know what it's about. And they're just going, listen, marbles are cheap. Shot glasses are cheap, and we can sit just red light, green light, marbles. Yeah, we'll just put that as a gift set, not knowing that it's like you have people like literally tricking an old man with dementia into giving his marbles away so he dies. And you're like, oh yeah, remember that one?
Well,
such a fun episode.
The same series as, you remember that the one I sent you, which was toys in like an Aldi thing, and they were Netflix, and it was like it just said something like random or assorted Netflix show toys.
Yeah, they have them as well.
Yeah, it was like the monster out of
Stranger Things.
And I was like, oh god, that's a bit much for kids. And then I was like, wait a minute, and it had a Squid Games thing, and I'm like, that's not, you can't do toys.
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? And it's like, I think they brought out loads and loads of merchandise and licensed Squid Game as if people were going like, oh, cute, I'm going to have that on my desk. It's like, no one wants to be reminded of Squid Game. It's fucking awful. Like, sitting there going, oh, there's a little doll. That's the episode where like they massacre about 70 people in 10 seconds with rifles. Oh yeah, remember that? Cute, wasn't it? Like, no one's thinking that. I don't want that on my desk at work. People will think I'm strange.
More so. Your giant capirotte collection.
Capirotte.
Half of the things that I put on Needful Things literally come up on Instagram suggestions. Like I was looking at some anime comic, and then suddenly I got advertised this thing, which I thought at first that it was like an incense burner, but it's not. It's just like a really weird like ceramic sculpture, which is from a manga called Horror World of Junji Ito, and this one's called Slug Girl. It's like a girl who's like bullied in school, who's like basically sidelined by her peers, and then one day they go around and ask what's wrong with her, and she can't speak, and then her mouth turns into a slug, and then all she is a head on the back of a slug.
Wouldn't it be a snail?
Oh God! Sorry, I just got that.
Well, that's a snail. That's a snail now because it's got a little house on its back.
Yeah.
I like the look of like. I like the look in the eyes of like, oh, this again.
And in the comic itself, which is available online as PDF, is pretty much all, because as soon as I was like invested in this one sculpture, I was like, I best have a look at the comic. And it's a gradual process, so she doesn't just turn into that. Like her tongue becomes a slug, and then eventually she's just a head on a slug. But yeah, I mean that's what I encountered from Instagram. It's available on. You can buy this sculpture on eBay, but it's like £100 odd, and I was like, no. Also, for some reason, I shared this in our chat a while ago, but the way that Instagram's algorithm works is obviously things that you've been searching online for other stuff comes up in the suggestions. And I was reading an article about the Swiss suicide booth, and like some woman decided to like be the first person to like do assisted suicide, and it was in the woods or whatever. And then immediately after, Temu sent me this, which is the Temu car rear tent. And it's just literally a tent on the back of a car.
Oh, yeah. The old monoxide booth.
I don't know, yeah. It's just literally like...
Is that where you're recording from, Paul?
Yeah, it's not working.
Damn electric cars, yeah.
It's a hybrid. Yeah, if you can't afford a Swiss suicide booth, you can always just buy a tent on Temu that attaches to the back of your car. Like, I don't know how this got to the production stage where they're like, it's even got like little guide ropes that attach to the handles.
Oh, this is incredible.
But like, how did it get to the point where like no one's like, if you run the car, wouldn't you get carbon monoxide poisoning? It's like, shut up, put it to print.
This is like, we've got a suicide booth at home. Well, I'll just send this one that I saw. It's a bit misleading because you can't just buy the cards. You've got to subscribe to this like mystery box, and this is one of the things you may or may not get. But it's a cross section of the human body in these cards, like what was that German?
The guy doing the autopsy.
Gunther von Hagen.
Yeah, and he did all this. And he did that massive, big, like a national thing where you go and see all of his stuff. Anyway, so it's like that every time you flip a card. It's another like cross section, and it makes up a human body. I thought that was amazing. And if you Google it, it's a curiosity box. And if you just Google like curiosity box cards or whatever, it'll come up, and you can see the video of him. It's cycling through all the cards, and it shows the body sort of disappear. It's amazing. Really cool.
Play Go Fish with the kids.
Yeah, that's right.
I've got to go, Paul. I've got to go, sorry.
Okay.
I've got to go for my eye test.
Pub's open.
Drive safe.
Thank you. How do I get out of this thing?
Are you talking about the house or the recording?
The recording.
Feel around for a door handle.